Hey guys, and welcome to the field of battle. I'm a Rubber Duck of War, and today we're going to be casting a glorious land battle featuring the mighty Loopy, taking charge of his glorious Khorne army. And I must admit, it's a pretty damn fun Khorne army in general, so let's delve into this. But he's going to be taking on Tzeentch, which of course is the dreaded foe, a mighty faction, and going to be quite tough to take down. On the left-hand side here, we have kind of the highlight of the build, the SKULLCRUSHERS of Khorne. Big fan of them for their thematic reasons, not so big fan of them for their damage output, but I can certainly see them doing a number over on Tzeentch. That 130 armor and bronze shields really going to help them get them into combat and close the gap on all those powerful range units. A load of Chaos Warriors of Khorne make up the main battalion of the battle line. Nothing too crazy there. They're just, relatively solid infantry. Should be able to take down the majority of Tzeentch forces in combat and are relatively durable up against that range pressure. Bucket ton of Furies in the sky, just bucket tons. Look how much harass we have here. And dog lovers rejoice. We have so many hounds. We have flying hounds. We have flesh hounds. And we also have warhounds in the mix as well, being a big flank overload on that right-hand side of the formation. A Exalted Bloodthirster is going to lead the charge. Looks like he's coming in with his Bellows Fury as well as his Mighty Axe. And that is going to be it. On the opposite side, it is more Furies galore. We have 4 units of the Tzeentch Furies in the skies, as well as an Exalted Lord of Change coming in with that Tzeentch magic, with both the pink and blue fire as his poisons of choice. We also have the Fury Summon, which should be noted may help them fight the air game there. In the main battalion, it is going to be a load of Forsaken making up the main battle line. Saturated on top of them shall be Spawn and Tzeentch. A really lovely combo. Big fan of this in general. And then a load of blue horrors in the secondary battle line to really launch those plasma grenades as quickly as possible. Really awesome map. You can see the castle up in the distance of Grand Cafe looking really beautiful. And it looks like Tzeentch have managed to trick everyone into a fight outside the Cafe Castle. Perhaps trying to lure out the Grand Cafe forces and do a fake assault here against the Khorne. Looks like we do get our first summon of the day. It is going to be those Furies up in the skies, looking to try to dish the pain back to the Khorne ones, who are currently not having the best times over here in the main fight. Lovely play though. Oh, I love this tactic so much. This is so clever. So Loopy was losing the air game of his Furies. So he just lands them amongst all the hounds, and you can see how quickly the Furies get ripped to shreds. It's such a hard thing to notice when you're microing all over the battlefield that, hey, I'm in a good position up in the skies, and all of a sudden your opponent drops down and you start getting dumpstered. Beautiful play there by the Khorne player. In the main fight in the skies, though, it looks like the Alpha Furies are kind of getting dumpstered for Khorne, though the Exalted Bloodthirster is well and truly alive and does manage to slap up the Exalted Lord of Change there, drive him back, rip his shield from him, and just spit in his face. Having a whale of a day the Bloodthirster is, not so much though, unfortunately, for the giant floating bird. Now, the Chaos Warriors of Khorne are going to be moving up. We do have a couple of Furies left for Khorne, but it does look like, for the most part, Tzeentch were able to dominate the skies. Not going to last for too long, though, the Exalted Bloodthirster on the warpath. Looks like some blue fire is coming in to try to correct that collision course of doom in the latter stages of the battle. SKULLCRUSHERS are going to be lowering their lances and charging into the deep one last time onto the Forsaken. But, in general, Tzeentch are pretty good at receiving cycle charges because of that shield. So not taking too much significant damage. The Tzeentch player is going to overcommit here. And if he gets pulled out of range support fire, SKULLCRUSHERS are going to want to wheel around and clatter into the Forsaken. That's just what they do here. Seems like the Furies are doing a decent job up in the skies. There's one left on each side. Exalted Bloodthirster trying to stay relatively far away from the blue horrors, which is certainly something I would agree is a decent situation, or decent tactical decision there. The Warriors of Khorne, incredibly slow, are taking their sweet time to get to the main battle line. It looks like all the hounds are in position, waiting to go there, kind of waiting for that front line to hit, so the Forsaken do get a bit busy, and the hounds can jump on top of all of the blue horrors and start to drag them down. But there's so much pressure coming in, it's not long before they're going to have to commit or be dragged down. And the Chaos Warhounds bound across the plain, straight into the rear of the blue horrors, ripping and tearing into them like juicy little angry jelly beans. It seems like up in the skies we do have a big fight once again. Exalted Bloodthirster is trying his hardest. He's getting bogged down by Furies as well as the Exalted Lord of Change. You can certainly tussle with the best of them up in the skies. We've decided to fall back here, particularly because we have a big buff going down. The Deathbringer has been brought to battle. That's going to be enough to drag down any Lord. The SKULLCRUSHERS are currently having their armor sundered, but they don't care too much. And big damage here to the Forsaken. Spawn and Tzeentch fighting in the forest. Not going to be the best situation for them. Blue Horrors are attempting to support where possible. Hounds are reaving through the back line, though. They themselves are starting to get shut down a little bit here. Unfortunately, Chaos Warhounds have garbage leadership and can not really take too many punches. Looks like Flesh Hounds are amongst them as well. They're going to have a bit better time, and the Blue Horrors are getting dragged down, which they need to be here because that fire is really starting to stack up against the Exiled Bloodthirster, who's taking significant damage now, but not quite as much as his counterpart of the mighty Exiled Lord of Change, who's down to nearly half HP at this point. Flesh Hounds continue to pour on, hopping on top of some Blue Horrors. We do have a half-spawner Tzeentch in the back pocket, looking to protect, and they're going to be a decent bodyguard in the back. In the front line, Forsaken simply do not have the punch to break through the thick armor of Khorne warriors. Look at them just beating back the Forsaken, using their shields and axes alike in perfect harmony to cleave asunder the armor of the Forsaken, and it looks like elsewhere warriors are winning their frontline engagements wherever they do go. SKULLCRUSHERS are just knee-deep in enemies right now, blood galore, and that is something they will enjoy quite a bit here. Up to 60 kills, not bad whatsoever. Jumping onto a Blue Horrors and Forsaken, going to be a nice fun fight for them. Their armor's really going to make them almost impervious to the attacks there of the Tzeentch infantry. Where are the flyers? Oh my god, it looks like they're miles away. So the Exalted Lord of Change was getting hunted down by the Bloodthirster, but it's a bit of a trap because now he's been able to buy time for the Chaos Fury summon to be in effect, and he's doing a decent job here. I would really like to see him cycle charge. I know it's risky, but jump on top of the Exiled Lord of Change and try to drag him down. But it looks like he's pulled back to drop some blue fire on his arse, doing some really nice damage. And the Exiled Bloodthirster is currently on fire, not having a good day. The Chaos Fury is doing some significant damage here. Really a big moment in the battlefield here in the sky. Balance power is slightly Tzeentch favored, although I think the ground game is going a little bit better for the forces of Khorne. It looks like Deathbringer has been activated, and that is the ticket and the cue for the Exalted Lord of Change to get the hell out of there. He does not want to fight this bad boy with Deathbringer active. It looks like he's not really going to have a choice. His support has been dragged down. We are getting the big spell, the bound ability from the skies. That is going to sunder the armor of the Bloodthirster down to just 1,156 HP. The Exalted Lord of Change, though, not looking much healthier. In the ground fight here, you can see the Forsaken as well as Spawn are now being surrounded by a mixture of Flesh Hounds and Chaos Warriors. Spawn going to do significant damage here in this fight, but they will eventually get dragged down if they are surrounded like this. Elsewhere, the Khorne forces are really overwhelming the enemy using the speed. They're dominant in the speed game, which is not something you would often see with Khorne versus Tzeentch, but the Flesh Hounds, the Hound play, it's all been top notch, and I've been very impressed with the SKULLCRUSHER as well. Looks like the Tzeentch player learned a trick or two from his Khorne counterpart from the early stages of the battle and decides to land his unit to try to get some support from the friends on the ground. However, Bellows Fury is not something the Exiled Lord of Change counted for, and it looks like he's getting absolutely punted by the Exiled Bloodthirster. Blood for Khorne. I will accept any blood, but in particular, I will accept yours. This one is indeed personal, because this Exiled Lord of Change has done massive damage to the Bloodthirster over the course of the battle, and he's not a happy bunny whatsoever. Doing some massive damage here. We do get one last spell come in from the Exalted Lord of Change, but he is finished off by the Bloodthirster, down to just 1,000 HP, but balance power swings heavily in favor of Khorne. You can see just the Chaos War is so durable. Honestly, a really solid unit that is probably underlooked, I would say, and underappreciated due to how good the dual weapons are, as well as Bloodletters. But they're bad boys. The Chaos Warriors, they're cheap, they're cheerful, they're durable, and they get the job done, particularly good against Tzeentch here. Looks like they're able to break back the Forsaken, shatter them, laugh as they retreat, and revel in the slaughter they were able to do in the name of their Liege Lord. Looks like we have one unit of Spawn left fighting, who are slowly getting dragged down here, but they are going to bow their heads and respectfully retreat, trying to work, maybe try and get the mercy of Khorne, which I don't think is going to go down super well with them. Very well played, a Pyrrhic victory. A close game indeed. Pretty awesome stuff from both players. I love the cycle charging coming in with the SKULLCRUSHERs. Only 1,000 value on them, but they did absorb a lot of damage. But honestly, these basic Chaos Warriors of Khorne put in an absolute shift. Very impressed with them. Likewise, the tactics of landing your air force into the ground is something that I need to see more from players, and both these guys did do it today. 2.7k from the Exiled Bloodthirsters. Nice work. 1.3k on the Exiled Lord of Change. Proving once and for all who is the power in the demon realms. It is Khorne, baby. And what an awesome game. Massive shout out to Loopy for sending this one in. Always a pleasure to have him on the channel. He's been sending replays since Warhammer 2 and always comes in with the top-notch games. So yeah, thank you for sending that one in. And make sure if you guys did enjoy to leave a cheeky thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are on the road to 10k. It is slowed down massively, of course, with the after the initial burst of Warhammer 3. But, you know, we've got a lot of exciting stuff to come into, and you definitely want to be sticking around to catch it. We've got some Regiment Renowned on the way, as well as a big patch update. Pretty excited to see how that stuff goes. Feel free to comment down below what you thought of the battle and what you'd like to see in the future. Like a ton of links in the description to Twitch, Patreon, and Discord. And more importantly, until next time, guys, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.